Hi, my name's Angela Casey and welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors, the podcast that explores Edinburgh's green spaces and the people in them. And I'm down on Gorgie Road today. Many of you will remember Gorgie City Farm and where Gorgie City Farm used to be, which is now known as Gorgie Community Farm. And I'm meeting Fiona and I'm meeting Johanna again, who you may remember from when I went foraging in November last year. And we're going to talk about all the work that the community farm is doing and how they're setting everything up. And it's really nice to see somewhere coming alive. Hi, Fiona.
Hi. Hi, Angela.
Welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors.
Thank you very much.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming.
And Hannah is around somewhere.
She's
going to come and find us, isn't she?
She is.
So we're looking at what used to be the farm, aren't we? And there are some old buildings and things, but I can see green shoots of gardening. So what's going on?
Yeah, so you're standing on the site of what most people remember as Gorgie City Farm, but it's now Gorgie Community Farm. And we are a new charity that have taken on the lease. And the first thing that we have enthusiastically embraced is the gardens. And we can do that primarily because of fantastic Johanna. She's brought back with her lots of the volunteers that used to come, fresh ones.
Has she? So she's brought you people as well as
Absolutely.
Gardening skills.
Absolutely, and her knowledge is just phenomenal. But literally, in the summer when we took on the lease, we had to find the paths. We had to find...
a path?
Oh, yeah. You could not see a path, could you, Johanna?
Hi, Johanna. Welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors again.
Hello. Yeah, we've had teams of people coming along and literally finding our way back into the gardens again. So every pathway, every little crevice has been weeded. That was really the first job, even just right back where the old duck pond was at the beginning there, and the driveway, just gradually getting our way back into the garden. And then actually what you're seeing now looks more like a working garden, doesn't it, than it was, because in our mind, in the last 60 days, we've done so much. Whereas I think other people can come on site and think, oh gosh, it's quite different to how it was, and can feel perhaps a little bit sad.
Yeah, because you'd remember it as I did when
Exactly.
you took little kids to see the animals and things. But it's a different, things move on, don't they?
Yeah, and it's in a big transition phase.
Yeah.
But so like yourself, my memory is very much, my son's 24 now, and he took his first steps here in front of the chicken run with my mum. My daughter volunteered here with the animals, so everybody that comes has got these amazing memories, connections, stories with this site, because it is just it's 2.5 acres of extraordinary bit of land.
Yeah.
We're sandwiched between the railway line, Gorgie Road, the cemetery, new flats. And it's just this little green oasis that I think people come to and kind of find a little bit of paradise.
It's not what you expect, is it? I mean, this is what I love about Edinburgh Outdoors, is finding these little places in the middle of the city that suddenly feel like a total oasis.
Yeah.
And now you tell me that, I can see how much work you've done, because these beds are so neat.
Yeah. So yesterday we were having great fun. For me, it was a bit like an episode from Stranger Things, because we were finding the rhubarb, because we were moving the rhubarb. So there was all sorts of bizarre conversations about trenches and trying to lift it really delicately.
Was it huge? Because, I mean, it must have been here a long time.
Archaeology. We were doing some sort of gentle undigging and taking the roots out.
So the very first time that I think I came, when Johanna was on site as well, was when we were cutting back the fig tree.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Because we had to cut the fig tree to be able to get rid of the broken plastic on the polytunnel.
Right.
Because we'd suffered during the closure of the site for 2.5 years. The site had suffered quite dramatically in terms of infrastructure and buildings and stuff. So this is all new plastic that's been donated. Right. Everything's been done in kind. But yeah, the first time I met with Johanna, we were cutting back that, eating the figs as we were going.
Oh, well, that's a bonus.
It's really good.
Is this the fig here?
Yes, yeah. It's not looking its best, but it will.
So every session there's like a learning episode really occurring. Definitely for me. We had a lovely harvest festival, just very small, and it was the volunteers that had been coming for a couple of months over the summer, and we had a fire pit, and one of the lovely volunteers from the past. Is that the robin?
That's the lovely thing, isn't it, that we're sat here, we could hear the buses going past because we're on a busy road. And we've got that little red thing. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. You can come in the gate sometimes and the fox will go past, and obviously the squirrels.
We've talked about when it was a farm. I know it then went through an iteration, but I think we should talk about the future and what it is that you've done. So where's your funding coming from?
So at the moment, we're really fortunate that we got some funds from the Community Lottery Fund.
Yeah.
So that's enabled us to employ Johanna on a part-time basis. We've also got some funding through the Green Light Fund as well. And again, that's going to allow us to employ Johanna for a bit longer, and also some of that money we can new greenhouse. We're going to get a polycrub, which is a sophisticated polytunnel, a bit stronger. That's why we're removing the rhubarb. The future for us is that we want to create somewhere that we can sustain financially, so we have partners on site. So we have sort of 4 partners, one that is on site, and that's the charity, overall charity is called Capella, and their Next Steps programme is for adults with additional support needs, and they are called trainees. So they've renovated and are renting the office building, and trainees will be on site working on their CVs, getting out into the community, volunteering with us.
All right, so they'll do some gardening as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
They can get involved with jobs on the farm with us. So that is providing us with some income. And then the Forge, who at the moment are down at Fountain Bridge, they're coming on site too. But they're fab because they fix things, they've got membership. So their members hopefully will get involved in stuff with us, and for them as well, they do community projects as well as their own projects. You get trained on all the machinery. It's woodwork, metalwork, welding. We've already put in a request for table and benches.
I haven't even moved on site yet.
Well, you've got 4 chairs.
We have.
We had a lot of volunteers actually, so we need many more.
Wow. Well, it's all moving then.
It is, and we've got exciting partnerships in the pipeline, as it were. So we've also got Nala, who has the Insect Cafe. She's bringing her little container on site as well, and she works in the grass market and Stockbridge market, and in her container is crickets and mealworms that she then uses the protein flour for brownies and muffins.
She processes them into flour?
Yeah, the insects themselves are fed off food waste, so they're part of the food cycle, and her ultimate aim is to have chickens, and that the chickens will then eat those insects as well. There's all these amazing people that I've been meeting through this process of being on the board for this charity. It's just quite exceptional what is going on out there in Edinburgh, and we want this site and Gorgie Community Farm to tap into all of that and to bring it to this area. So we've been back in touch with the high school, with Big Hearts, the church, the community council, the Dalry Gorgie Forum. Everybody is so much in love with the site that they want to see it.
That's great, because you want it to become a community space.
Yes. And what's really lovely is the other exciting partnership is Napier's, the herbalists. They are going to be developing with Johanna a herb and medicinal garden. So we're so excited about that.
Hannah's getting excited about it, because I know from going off into the woods with you how much you are into that stuff and how interesting it is. Yeah. And I hope you're going to get some fungi growing around here as well.
Oh, there was already fungi growing.
Yeah, because Hannah was talking about the original concept vision of this bit of land. Now, it's either the great-great-granddaughter or great-granddaughter. I apologise for not remembering how many greats there were in there. The managers from Napier's to have a look around in the rain. And her husband, Eric, was the deputy headmaster or head of guidance at Tynecastle High School when the parents came over and said we want to start an urban farm in the late 70s, and it just felt like this circle of now Napiers where, and everybody I tell that story to, they all go like this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And when I told Johanna on the phone that this is what was going to be happening, there were a few tears of joy.
Children, oh yeah. Well, that's so wonderful. That'll be, and that'll give it a reason that people will want to come and see it as well, because they'll be interested. Do you want to show me what you're doing at the moment, and we'll go out and have a little walk round?
So actually, I've been involved with the farm for a few years now. I started volunteering here around the lockdown. Then I started working for the farm. The farm closed a few times, but actually I know what is in the ground because I've been involved with this place for so many years. So actually I know like the perennials that are coming up, and what bulbs might come up where, which is really good.
That's so useful for you, Fiona.
Oh my
to have
goodness, we couldn't be doing this without Johanna. It's incredible.
Because there's so much in the soil already, and also I planted things in quite a companion planting kind of style. So there are things that I'm preserving here. For example, we've got some madder, which is a natural dye root, and we were working with a spinners group that used to come to the farm to do natural dye projects with it. So I've kept that in the soil, and when people come here to clear the space, which is predominantly what's happening at the moment, I have to be like, oh, careful, there's some plants in there, and we want to preserve this one. Even right now, we're standing in front of a big lovage. It's fully died back, but this grows like meters high. There's many things here, lots of comfrey, which is something we use for soil health, so we use it in the compost. And then we've got currants and some apples, and under here there's lots and lots of bulbs, so we'll get daffodils and crocuses coming up and that kind of thing. But because the site's been abandoned for so long, there are some problems with, for example, ash trees or other trees that have self-seeded in the middle of, say, this currant. The currants are amazing. So actually, while they're still fruiting so well, I don't think we're going to get rid of them.
Just at the very end of the summer, just when we signed the lease and were able to get on the site, we managed to catch some apples that we had apple press. So that was great fun. And we had some plums and made plum jam.
Oh, yes.
Which is delicious.
Raspberries as well.
Obviously, it's exciting for you, Johanna, to come back and to be gardening here again. But was it a bit depressing that all your work had been grown over?
Obviously, yes. It took me quite a bit to feel can come back, because it did take a toll on my mental health, I'd say. And any people that were involved with this space would probably agree that in some way or another it really affected them, because this place is very special and it means a lot to a lot of people. And as you maybe said before, everyone kind of has a story relating to Gorgie Farm with some sort of connection, because it's a really important place. So when we were kicked off site for maybe the third time or so, at that point we just thought, okay, maybe we need to give up on it. But we did it, and I'm very glad. But, it took some convincing from your side and from the board, and it also took quite a while for volunteers to come back. And I think the place will thrive and they will feel comfortable coming back again, but it's something to consider, and it is part of the history,
Yeah, that's hard.
Because a lot of people have invested so much in terms of their time, their passion, their friendships, the things that they brought and shared, whether it was seeds or plants, and then to lose that, to then have the faith in us, who are strangers, to instill in them that we feel confident, we feel like the importance of this is so vital, and the importance of community spaces and green spaces for every age group, and what is being done in those spaces for everybody's well-being and for creating community. I mean, Johanna's her very presence here creates community, and we have lovely new people coming, look out their windows and think, oh, what's going on there? And come down, and friendships are created, and that just needs to creep back through the whole site, really.
It is a real community hub. People meet here and they do things after volunteering, or it's a really nice way to meet people and to get outside and relax. It really takes you out of your brain.
So you've got some new volunteers coming later on, is that right?
Yeah, so I think today is a garden day, so all we can do at the moment is provide a few hours each week as gardening hours, and the volunteers come along. Hannah's with them, and then we've also, because we've got that community notice board up, and we've just done a newsletter, there is a QR code, so people can now find us and put in that they would like to come some of those days. So we're getting completely new people who are finding us that way, as well as the existing volunteers from the past, people that used to work here. And it was really, really important to them, and it's fabulous that they're here as well. And then we've had some days where it's been Lloyds Bank have come and done a big clear of stuff. So there might be a couple of people like that today that have signed up and said, I've got a volunteer day. And people in Edinburgh are really, really keen, to use their volunteer days and come and help. So it's great.
There is this huge spirit that gets going. It's just incredible what you can do once you've got the people who want to be involved.
Yeah.
And I know this is slightly sad in that it's got some of the old buildings and things like that, but that's all the potential, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, inevitably there's going to be the question, and everybody listening to this podcast will already be thinking, when's the farm coming back? I'm going to ask you, I know that we're talking about the community garden here, but will the animals ever come back, do you think?
Well, those animals obviously have gone, and they've got lovely new homes. Some of them still remain with a couple of people that were working here, but predominantly the bigger animals went, and they're well cared for and looked after. We have a plan of several years, and that plan has to keep evolving. It's not something that we can say this is how it's going to be, because we keep discovering, for example, the buildings in the middle there that were the pigsties, etc. They were set on fire when the site was abandoned. So we took the decision, the council removed the damaged roofs but left the walls. We can now see that the walls without roofs are not going to stand themselves. So that would be a big funding project. That would be perhaps heritage lottery funding or some matched funding to be able to develop those buildings. We've got some areas of the site that would be still ideal for smaller animals. I don't have in my pocket a whole load of goats, but I absolutely adore goats. We would love to have animals here, but it'll start small, and perhaps it'll start because another partner has chickens. Yeah, we start, and perhaps another partner might think, okay, that's what we would like some young people to be involved in, and we've now got some funding where we could have some guinea pigs. I love guinea pigs too. I've got 7.
Wow, I didn't know that. 7.
They're little characters, aren't
they? They are.
It's brilliant.
But I mean, for me, the absolute value for people's well-being and mental health and ability to be with animals is so important. Probably more so than coming in and visiting and just seeing them. It's actually that interaction and the way that there's no questions asked. You are doing a job that is worthwhile, and you don't have to be doing small talk. And I think that was what was so important about this place in City Farm. City Farms are suffering across the country, but they are really, really important.
It's also important for children to understand animals, but also to understand where their food comes from.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I've learnt from going around talking to community gardens, is that is a fundamental thing that it bringing children in to see. So the fact that you're talking to schools and bringing them in even now, even if the animals are long way off. So having a vision is important.
The people would love it to be successful and to have the things that it had before, but there has to be a difference this time, because it's got to keep going, because we can't keep breaking people's hearts. Nice and steady, and get the community involved with as many things as we can, and just gradually
build. Quality and quantity.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and you're picking up partnerships as you go, which sounds amazing, that you're beginning to get people coming along, and you've got the people taking over the spaces, and you've got people who are helping you with things, and this polytunnel looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're moving in all the right directions.
You can get a bit overwhelmed at the scale of it, but our board is increasing in numbers and the different kind of skill sets, but we're still looking for more board members.
What kind of skill sets are you looking for on the board?
Well, one thing that would be great is actually some legal advice would be really good, and also architects. Somebody would even like to play around with different ideas for the buildings that we have, because we have a little gatehouse at the front that I think people don't even realise is there, and we think that should be almost like a little museum, merch kind of little shop. It's just right out on the street, and then there's the building that had the cafe in it at the bottom, and it's got a kitchen, and then it's got space at the top, and that could be all sorts of things. It would be really lovely if there was an architect who would love to just play around with drawings and actually had the knowledge too. And the legal advice would be good as well. We've had a lot of help with it, and we're really grateful for that, but that will be an ongoing situation. And also people with real experience, knowledge of community gardens and how they run and what makes them successful. Just don't put everything on poor Hannah's shoulders.
So this is where the new rhubarb is going. The sun's coming through now, and it will slowly start to move into the garden, and this place gets so warm.
Who does it?
It's quite wind protected, so actually even when Edinburgh generally is having quite a windy day, you come to Gorgie Farm, and if it's a sunny day, you'll be warm. And I don't know, it's quite special because there's a little microclimate in this garden that is super, and it's also just really beautiful to be here when it's sunny and not windy.
You've got the most enormous compost bins.
That was obviously the middens for when the animals were on site, so that's where all the stuff would go. and they were just overly full because there was too much to deal with. So we still now are reaping the benefits from all that. So we've got incredible soil here. The soil health is really good.
Is it?
Yes. Come spring, it'll be really nice fertile soil to plant and sow into.
I've never seen such fat worms, and so many
the
of them.
worms are
unbelievable.
The soil is great. Everybody keeps commenting on it. It's like, wow.
Do you know what the site was originally? Because I'm looking at it now and it goes right the way up there and there's that lovely curve.
Originally, it was to do with the railway.
Because it's quite industrial looking, so
yes,
that would make sense, wouldn't it, if it was a goods yard?
Yes.
Exciting. I like old railway things.
Yeah. And we want to increase the number of allotment plots that we have as possible, to use some of the spaces to then perhaps do raised ones. And again, just as our funds hopefully build, and we can reinvest in the site and just increase accessibility, and again, more opportunities for community to get involved.
Just hoping for a lot of people meeting one another and working together.
So it's not that you're just gardening all this, you're actually offering plots to groups.
We will do,
community groups. Yeah.
There's so many people live around here who won't have gardens.
Actually, the green space around here is not great in terms of quality, and this place has so much scope for increasing biodiversity even more than it already has anyhow. And I think it's just invaluable to the area. This needs to be a green space that people can come and access and just have a quiet moment in, or just run around. I don't know, whatever people want to do. But it's just, I think there is so much space and different plants, and soon we'll have more herbs as well, and the kind of sensory aspect of touching different herbs and that is really good for you as well.
So obviously you've got so many projects going on at the moment, but are there more projects that you want to do for which you don't have any funding?
We really do need to get funding to sort out buildings eventually, to develop the gardens, to create more allotment plots. It's fabulous that we've got support now for the herb garden. That's amazing. There's obviously the wildlife garden that we'd like to get that sorted. And we'd really like to have funding so that we can have groups coming in. There's probably a limit on how much time Hannah has. She can't be here 24/7. So to actually be able to employ other people would be just fantastic.
Yeah.
And for those people to be delivering workshops or community events. So people power funding would be fantastic.
Because you're right at the beginning of the story, really, aren't you?
We are. This is the start. It is a total start. There is history, there's a complicated history, but we are at the start of something exciting.
So it's a chance to revitalise a space which is well loved by so many people in the city and has always been well loved. But it's not recreating what was here before, but it's a start into something which is, I can see here just standing the potential that it's got. Yeah. And hearing the passion of you two talking about it as well.
Yeah. And it's lovely being hooked into that passion. It's fabulous. And I've met, the other people on the board I didn't know before we came together doing this. So it's just been fantastic getting to know people.
So you're a trustee?
Yes.
When did you start getting involved?
So I started getting involved in about January. So the group that had started off as a steering group, really, when the farm was closing, they then formed Gorgie Community Farm, the charity. And my husband was part of that right from the very beginning, as well as Suzanne Campbell, Paul Lazar, Brian Frino. And then I came on in January really because I could see that if this was going to happen, it needed more people. I was a high school teacher and a fitness instructor latterly. I had just stopped doing anything like that and thought, right, okay, I'll give this some of my time and some of my energy. And then we also recruited 2 more board members more recently. Mark Miller, who's been fabulous with helping us with polytunnel, or his time and materials he's donated, so he's now on board, so he's great man of action. And also Tatiana Evans-McLeod, who's just been fab, she's driving the project forward. So we're kind of all working together, all volunteers.
You're all volunteers. I mean, that's a lot to be doing, isn't it, as volunteers?
Going to the community council and to the forum, church, telling people that we're here. We really want Gorgie area and Dalry to be involved.
This thing I was saying earlier about how important it is that this should be open and accessible to people. Also, I want to just say, considering you've only been doing this since January, the amount of support that we have gotten as, me as a gardener, but also all the volunteers and the enthusiasm that I see in everyone, it's beyond anything we've ever received. And I've worked with, so many people here and really tried. Basically, I just want to say thank you, I'm fully I have fully regained my faith in this place, because of you. Yeah.
Oh no! Well, I think I'm just going to bounce it straight back at you, Johanna. Any faith is definitely in the people that are here, and you yourself are that number one person. I mean, some of the conversations that I've been listening to, I end up telling absolutely everybody. For example, I didn't know that you could be a DJ at a chess night, but you can. Yeah. And I would really stress for people not to be scared of coming down here, to come down here and to get stuck in and get involved.
Just say hi.
Yeah.
There's no pressure to do anything or be a certain way. This is just supposed to be a welcoming place where everyone's...
Absolutely.
Yeah, just come and have a look, even
sit
see
on a
what
bench.
you're doing.
You can take yourself off and do something just yourself.
Yeah.
You can just sit for half an hour.
I tend to give people options on what they can do if they want to, and really encourage them to take breaks as well.
So are you involved in any youth groups and working with children and young people?
Yes, Tynecastle High School used to be involved in the farm when they would come over and do gardening. I don't know whether Johanna experienced any of them over there.
Yeah.
So they've been back over again, and we would definitely like to start that up. And I think probably that will start up again. And it will be small groups, and especially those children that just find being in the classroom problematic. So would be really, really delighted to get that going again. There's a lot of people that were involved on the site, and for them, please do get in touch with us again.
Sometimes it gets really busy now, the volunteer sessions, and I just kind of look around and I feel like, wow, I have this vision of this place just being really busy with people again.
Yeah.
And I can have this vision, I can conjure up this beautiful vision of what it's going to be like come spring. Because I think a lot of people don't want to come gardening in winter, but actually I love to encourage them to come and join us in winter and in the colder season, because there's something very special about working on something that then flourishes and grows, rather than coming, peak summer, it's a beautiful day, you're just harvesting some stuff, but if you haven't lived through the story of that, then it's a slightly different experience.
So we're going up the back from the garden now. We're going up some steps around
and so you can even see these steps actually, and I know they're broken up a little bit. We have a lovely handyman, Smudge, who comes in and does work for us, and he's going to be fixing up the steps a little bit more for us. But everything is a little bit slippery and a little bit
this is where the pigsties were.
Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely bit of land.
Isn't it? I can see how it could have been a goods yard. You're very good to be taking this on as a volunteer. This is a lot of work.
I sent a message to my children this morning saying, well, today I seem to be sort of telling them all the strange things that I'm doing, or new and wonderful things that I am doing and taking on.
How much time are you spending here each week, do you think?
At the moment, I'm spending a lot of time here. So I was here all of yesterday. I had a Teams call from inside the chicken pen at one point yesterday. I'll be here for most of today, a little bit tomorrow. I think the local MP is coming to see us on Friday. Ooh. We're just trying to be as proactive as we can. So through 2026, we want to keep our energy up for some exciting events and also just keep progressing.
So Hannah doesn't have to answer the questions because she answered them when I went foraging with her last year. At the end of the podcast, we always ask the questions, as you know. So what does the outdoors mean for you?
It's vital to me. I swim outdoors, but I really, really do think that there's just something very special. You can be in the house and feel like, how can I possibly manage today? And you step outside, and as soon as the cold air hits your cheeks, or the warm air, or the dew underneath your feet, I'm going to sound quite bonkers now, but I do think that everything is kind of better outside.
It is.
Eating is better outside. Oh, yes. Being with your friends is better outside. I prefer a waffy, which is a walk and a coffee. My friend Danny created that name. Than meeting someone in a coffee shop or meeting them for lunch. I would rather be out walking. And although this project is massive and kind of spirals in so many different ways, essentially it's about being outside. And that is key to it all. It's outside, and everybody's outside, and everything is better when you're outside.
I agree.
Being in a city and being able to see and feel calm and peace in an environment like this is magic.
It's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And is there a time it's ever really helped you?
So, yes, I could very quickly become emotional. I think definitely during COVID, like most people, that's probably when I discovered the Pentlands. I'm not originally from here, but I do see it as my city now. The Pentlands really were very special to me during COVID, I think.
And probably you've slightly answered that anyways. The third question is, where's your favourite outdoor space in or around Edinburgh?
It's definitely Gorgie Farm.
Do you know, most people say it's where they are. So that's fine. You are allowed to say the place where you are. So what's the best way for anyone who wants to just find out more or to help you or whatever they might do? What's the best way for people to find out more?
So to find out more, if you live close by, then we've got the community box that's just by the bus stop outside Gorgie Community Farm, and you can use the QR codes on there, and that'll take you to being given updates or to sign up for a volunteer session. That's just on the street. Our new website is up, which is fantastic. So it's gorgiecommunityfarm.co.uk, and also info@Gorgie Community Farm. That would be the email address that you can email us. We'd be delighted to hear from anybody.
That's great. And you on social media as well?
We are. We've got an Instagram account. Again, Gorgie Community Farm.
I'll put the links to all of these on the blurb for the podcast so people can go online.
So Gorgie Community Farm has got a Facebook page that we've just taken over because obviously there's previous names. So it's fabulous.
Great.
Yeah.
So that's good. And you're always looking for volunteers and you're looking for trustees.
Yes.
So if people are interested, they can just get in touch.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Thank you very much. And thank you to Fiona and Hannah for welcoming me to Gorgie Community Farm so I could see everything that was going on. It's very exciting and heartening to see a space that's been left for a while being brought back to life. And it was great to see the volunteers all arriving while I was there. And thank you as well for listening to the podcast, as always. And if you've enjoyed it, please go onto your podcast app and rate it or even write a review. And don't forget to tell your friends about it too. And if you know of an outdoor space in or around Edinburgh that might like to be featured, please get in touch.